Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Wendy and Victoria, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Wendy Meyer and Victoria Meyer. This is our Memory Lane Mobile Home Park versus Wendy and Victoria Meyer. We've been here before. Ladies, the law requires that I advise you of your rights. I've done this probably a couple of times, but let's do it again. Mr. Bush will be joining us here in a minute. But while we wait, let me advise you that as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, this is non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If the action is for non-payment of rent and you are eligible for some emergency services, and you have received emergency help, I think, a couple of times, you do not need a judgment to receive assistance. The summons and complaint from the court case should be sufficient. I'm going to read this as it's actually written by the Supreme Court. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizen Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, call the court to contact Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. to coordinate resources. I just say contact us and we'll set it up. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above but have the following additional rights. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing, but if the judge did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. And I was afraid we were going to be back here, frankly. You were in financial distress. They put together with a glue and a postage stamp and some other stuff enough money to get caught up. And then more months have passed and now we are in this situation again. I received your letter, date stamped July 24th, where you raise a number of issues and disagree with some of the representations by the plaintiff. So let's wait for Mr. Bush. He'll be here in a minute. He was here with me this morning. Good afternoon, Ms. McCurry. We'll be with you in just a moment.
No problem. Thank you.
Chris, while we wait for John, do you contend that the arrearage is still $2,265? What's the current status?
Your Honor, I have a total adding August in of including our, well, just for lot rent is $3,225. Lot rent and house payment.
All right, what else do you have?
Late fees, but I don't know what the attorney fees are.
I'll calculate that, but how much are the late fees?
We charge 50. I know you do 40.
So how many months?
3, Your Honor.
We'll call it 120. All right, our court costs would be 55 plus 49.58 plus 75 is 179.48 in costs. The total they claim is due is $3,524.48. Here's another party. And I know that you have some disagreement with that.
get his Zoom to work at all. He's been trying.
Well, let me send John an invite.
Okay,
John zooms in all the time.
I know.
Let me see. Tell him to click on the link.
Okay.
I'll call him.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Jackie. Let John know. This is Judge Middleton. I sent him a email invite. See if he can get in by clicking on that link. Yeah, that's what I understand. So have him just click on the email link and see if that'll do it. We've had our share of technical problems today also. In fact, we're still having them. I have a remote control. I'm not sure what it is. It's a small iPad. It doesn't work. And I've tried to reboot it and anyway, so I can't control things remotely from the bench. But Mr. Bush logs in here daily, so he's cognizant of it. I've got Jamie Heflin. Which case are you folks here on? Cosmos?
Yes,
All right, and Adam McCurry is here. That's our next case. We're trying to do the case ahead of it while we wait. Thank you for being here in a timely manner. The problem is at his end. Good afternoon, Mr. George.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Bush is having a little, good afternoon. Let's just try to do this by phone. Can we just put John on the speakerphone? Okay. John's having trouble with his computer system. Tim, can you walk across the street to your office and connect from there? We'll just try to do it by phone.
This is John Bush speaking.
Hello, John. Judge Middleton here. I understand you're having some computer difficulty. We'll try to do this by phone.
If you'd like to duck, I'm gonna throw the computer across.
Yeah, well, I have a hammer. I was about ready to use it this morning. As you know, I'm still having trouble with my Kramer remote box, but
I apologize, Your Honor.
all right, well, we're fine. Chris Corpening is here and both Ms. Myers are here. I went through their advice of rights. Chris tells us that through August, rent is $3,225, $120 in late fees plus court costs of $3,524.48. Wendy Meyer sent a letter dated July 24th, raising a number of issues that she has.
I
And
received that letter, Your Honor.
all right, and so there may be some disagreement there. The law requires that we continue this matter for 7 days. Now, legal aid had been joining us in these hearings, but they've been unavailable the last few court dates, so you do have the right to contact legal aid. Had you made any effort to talk to them, Wendy?
No, I have not. I don't know. Is their number on the court page? I don't know.
Yes,
if
it
they're-
is.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
I will.
Also, as I indicated, you guys are on a razor's edge of being able to afford to live here. You raised a number of extraneous issues, but one of the things we need to figure out is the exact amount that's due. You contend that it's something less than that. The law requires that I continue this. So I'm going to continue it to next Monday, August 14th at 2 o'clock. Does that work for you, John?
Still.
I could work around it. I'm in the office. I have an appointment at 2 o'clock, but I can probably do a double booking, Your Honor. You have to do those.
Well, let's make it for 150.
That's better.
I have a 145 with Lance that the guy might pay the rent. So let's do it for 150. Ms. Corpening, have you seen the letter?
I briefly did, yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, she raises some issues there, and I don't know whether there's any merit to that or not. There's some dispute as to the numbers. Maybe you guys can discuss that between now and next Tuesday. But once again, ladies, it's gonna come down to either being able to pay the rent or not pay the rent. You've gotten some emergency funding a couple of times. Have you talked to Keystone or DHS or anybody else for assistance?
No, we haven't. And that only in COVID have we had assistance. We didn't get any assistance last time with it. We just caught it up
Well,
ourselves.
the COVID money ran out some time ago, but there were some small pockets of emergency funding,
Wait.
very small. All right, well, you may consider moving if you can't afford to live there anymore, but we'll make a decision and ruling on how much money is due. And then you'll get 10 days from that day to pay it, which would take us to August 24th. So we'll address this further next Monday at 1:50. And you may want to discuss those issues, Ms. Corpening, with Mr. Bush or with the defendants, the tenants, see if we can agree on our number. But your number seems to be based in fact. All right, ladies, any questions?
No, sir.
All right,
No,
I'll
Your
see you next Monday at 1:50. Thank you, John. We'll do the best we can and good luck. I'll let you borrow my hammer if you need it.
I'm about ready to swing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, I think we got everybody out of there. J. Bush by TX. Luke, what are you here on?
I'm gonna represent Victoria and Mindy Meyer.
Oh, well, come on up and have a seat.
I'm here in person, I know, and I had something else, so I thought I would.
All right. When, we lost her, Wendy Meyer. When Bruce Springsteen said, "I want to die with you, Wendy, on the streets tonight," and they turned the lights up at Wrigley Field, the crowd went crazy. Different Wendy, I think.
Maybe.
Good afternoon, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. This is file number 23876 LT. It's entitled Memory Lane Mobile Home Park versus Wendy and Winnie Meyer.
Victoria.
What's that?
It's Victoria.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What
That's
did I
okay.
write?
Put Winnie. That's what you said.
Yeah, I did. I'm not sure where I got it. Mr. John Bush is here on behalf of the park and the manager, Chris Corpany. Also, Mr. Luke Knopfinger is here on behalf of the defendants. Luke, would you place your appearance on the record?
Yes, Judge. Luke Knopfsinger, entered an appearance for Wendy and Victoria Meyer, P number 79495, and I will follow up with a written appearance, Judge.
All right. Ms. Meyer and Ms. Meyer have been here several times in the last year or two, trying to maintain this tenancy. We were here on August 7th, and Ms. Corpening represented that the current lot rent was $3,225. There were late fees of $120, and the court costs were $178.48. So the total arrearage was $3,524.48. Mr. Bush, has anything changed since then?
Yes, it has, Your Honor. A payment was made today of $375. That would take care of rent through the end of May. At this point, the only rent owing would be June, July, and August. That would be $950 per month. There would be 3 late fees. I believe the court grants $120 on those. And then we would have the same filing fees that we showed with the court a week ago.
$2,850 plus $120 plus $178.48. $3,148.48. Mr. Knopfinger, you're here on the defendant's behalf. As I mentioned, they had several previous cases where they were behind in their rent.
Yeah.
On one or more occasions, they got some emergency financial help. They got current through part of May, maybe through April. And I was fearful at that time that we were going to be right back in the soup within the next couple of months, and we were. What's your position on behalf of the defendants?
So, Judge, they want to remain. I think it's shown in part that they made a payment today. This all started to unravel here back in March when Wendy was injured and she was unable to work. Since then, Victoria has gone off and got a better paying job with guaranteed hours, and that's allowed them to pay all their expenses, including their rent. So they have a plan of action there that in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be current. I know the concern always is, well, you're current this time, but are we just going to end up here again? But I'll suggest to the court here that Wendy's injury, her inability to work back in, so it was kind of I want to be clear about this. It was a perfect storm in terms of Victoria's employer limiting her number of hours that she was working. And then also Wendy's injury back in March. She wasn't able to work. So Wendy getting back to health, Victoria finding another job with guaranteed hours. They are confident they're going to be able to come back and make these payments. I don't know, and I haven't reached out to Attorney Bush. I intend to, but they want to remain. They want to continue to pay. They not just have the lot rent, but they're making payments on the mobile home as well. So that's another reason they want to stay. I do have a couple other issues, but I don't think that they're as important as those. But that's kind of what I know about the case at this point.
Well, I joked, and it wasn't really a joke. Wendy Myers had more bad luck than maybe anybody I've known in a while in recent years, including this injury. You all know this. The landlord does not have to seek eviction on the 10th day. They have 56 days from today to ask for the writ of eviction and 56 more days to serve the writ. And the problem, it isn't a problem. The law is that discretion is strictly in the landlord. They can agree to work with you to get caught up on this rent, or they cannot. I say this a lot. It's easier to keep a good tenant in there than to move one out and move another one in. And this is a rental purchase. Ms. Corpening, do you have a position on that?
On the rent, I agree. They have had lots of problems keeping up with the rent. They, I know in the letter that they sent you, there was an issue with the site inspections and things, but I don't know that you want to discuss that because this is really about rent.
Yeah, we're just about rent.
Yeah.
All right, but you can agree to work with them for up to 56 days. And then 56 more. So they have a plan, and if everybody can agree, then good. If they can't, you'll be subject to a writ of eviction within 10 days. Now, John, I thought I had a judgment in here. Let me look. Victoria, where are you working?
Packaging and Sturgis?
What packaging? Graphic?
Yes.
And they pay well there. They have problems in Kalamazoo with that plant, but, and Wendy, are you back to work?
Yeah, in homework, but yes, I'm working.
John, I don't have a judgment.
We'll get one over to you in just a few moments.
All right.
John.
So let's go through this. Rent through August. It's June, July, and August rent. Your lot rent and your trailer payment is $9.50 per month. The late fees are $40 a month, which is $120. The court cost, the filing fee, the service fee, and the attorney fee are $178.48. So the total amount owed is $3,148.48. It's due within 10 days, which is August.
She says that late fee is $50, not 40.
I only allow 40.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
So I may have to change it the way the world is these days, but right now it's at 40. So I only assessed 40. So $3,148.48 due by August 24th. The only thing that will cure it is paying the entire amount. A partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. However, as I stated, the landlord can agree to work with you for up to 56 days and another 56 before they serve it. So if you meet with Ms. Corpening and you have a plan to get caught up, she can agree to that. She doesn't have to. As I said, I was concerned when we got over the hump the last time, we were going to be in the same problem. There are some other things that you are dissatisfied about. We're not getting into any of that here today.
Fine.
All right, John will submit an order. John, if you email that over, I'll sign it.
We'll get it over directly, Your Honor.
All right, I will send one to defendants and to Luke. All right, anything further we need to do here?
I don't think so. Thank you, Chris.
Thank
All
you,
right, good
John.
luck,
Thank you, Your
ladies.
Honor.
Thank you, Luke.